The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be live.
Greetings, my followers, for Meckanimal, and today we're going to discuss the pain that a certain population feel when they are doing the deep movement, the deep exercise. The reality is all of us are not built the same. So because of the way your rib cage is set up, the anthropometry of it, a little population of Earth will feel a discomfort around the sternum after the deep exercise or during the deep exercise. But it can be addressed to a certain extent, and after following all the advice that I will give, if the pain still persists, I would just suggest to let go of the movement and pick a different exercise, which I do. And I don't even take any chance, because when people hire me to train them, it's because they trust me, and I would not like to put them in any type of danger. So as soon as I always ask anyway, for that matter, if you feel any type of discomfort or pain around the sternum. When I feel just a glimpse of it, we just let go of the deep and we pick a different exercise to target the same muscle group. There's a whole cluster of variety of exercises out there that are just, I won't say as good, but they would just do as great of a job if done properly, with a different, from a different corner. And so for that, I would not take any type of risk and have the client or the subject go through the pain just because I love the exercise and just because I believe the exercise can give the results that we are looking for. So after following all the tricks and advice that I gave, and it persists for most of you guys, or all of you guys, I would say, just give up and pick a different exercise to target your triceps or your chest or your shoulder or whatever it is that you were looking to maximize or increase using the dip. So beside that, the number one reason why you may be feeling pain is because the intensity must be too high. For somebody who's lacking the mobility required to perform the movement, the shoulder extension, for example, or the thoracic mobility, the thoracic spine mobility, for you to yield that extension of the spine that you need for you to save the rib cage from collapsing into each other. For those who like it, for example, and then go too heavy on the way to dip, for example, which is, because of social media, again, it's very easy to want to compare yourself to your idol, somebody that you're looking up to, and okay, I can do that. He moved this amount of weight. I can do just like him. I can move 3 plates or 4 plates as well. But not all weights, not all movements are equal, even with the same weight. You can just find yourself falling into position and alter the leverages, making you move the movement at the detriment of your joints or of your sternum in this particular case. So a lot of time people just put a strain on the sternum because they lack the mobility to put themselves in the ideal position, and on top of that they load way too much weight. So number one thing, if you were to feel pain after your deep exercise, the first thing I would do is to make sure that it's the deep that create an issue. So I would try to take maybe some time, a little bit, a few days off, try not to involve any other movements in the protocol, and do it again, whether it's a week or whatever it is that you're gonna take for you to recover from the slight discomfort. If it's a too sharp of a discomfort, I would just let it rest. Ultimately, rest is the key. And after rest, and you get back to it, make sure that you don't involve way too much in the exercise, so you can troubleshoot what's the cause of the discomfort in the sternum. But most likely, if after including the dip, which is the novel movement, if that's when you start feeling the discomfort, it's because of the dip, because it's a common issue. So after you get back to it, knowing that it is the dip that you sure of is triggering that problem, try to load off the movement and go much lighter on the movement and see how the body responds. If after that moderate to light intensity, you still feel some type of discomfort, then I will go to address the mobility, your thoracic mobility in your spine. You can mobilize them by using the foam roller, for example, and trying to target the erectors on the around. Erectors, for those who don't know, I don't want to make you sound stupid, but make you look stupid, but yeah, erector is those muscle, thick one along the spine that can be a little looking like I don't know, like some pipes, or if I'm describing it right. So not to digress any further, you target those erectors with the foam roller. All you gotta do is just place the foam roller in the middle of your back, perpendicularly to your spine. Try to grab your shoulder this way, pull them together, and then squeeze your glutes to expose the thoracic spine and roll up and down. Take the slack out of your shoulder blade to expose those muscles. So once you take the slack out of your shoulder blade and round it, you can target the erectors. So do that mobility exercise along with the shoulder extension, mobilization. So you have a variety of shoulder extension mobility. You can use the table position, where you place yourself on the floor and then pike your hips up and put yourself in a table position. So you can Google the table mobility exercise and you can find it. So the table one is one simple one. You hold yourself in the table. It will target your shoulder extension, flexibility and mobility to a certain extent. So that, along with the thoracic spine mobilization, will help you dial up your upper body structure to be able to take the load required without straining the cartilage that gets inflamed during the movement. So this is, I think, the best way to take care of the issue. So to summarize, intensity. Most likely you're going too hard. So you want to take time to build the resilience in your joints, in your cartilage, whatever connective tissue that comes to be involved in the movement. Two, you want to address whenever you address the intensity and it's persisting, you want to address the mobility, thoracic and mobility and shoulder extension mobility. Those are the two that on top of my head I can suggest can help a lot. Could be a lot more other mobility things, but I like to be minimalist, to say the least. So I like to go straight to the most important part that I believe would help. And after you address intensity, you go to the shoulder extension. After the shoulder extension and mobility and thoracic spine mobility is still not fixing it, well, I guess the dip is just not for you. I would just dump the dip and pick other exercises. You have the military press that you can use if you want to build some awesome triceps along with awesome shoulders. You have the bench press, which is commonly used by majority of people to build some good amount of volume, good amount of mass in the chest and close grip tricep. Bench press will target as well your tricep. You have push-ups that you can put in different position, different variation and position to target specific muscle to the best of their ability. So you have a lot of creative ways to target the muscle group that you want to target during the dip. Ultimately, the dip is a really good exercise to get those triceps, those blades right there. Of course, major part is genetics, but provided that you have the proper genetic, whether it's decent or extremely good, you likely to get some good results using the dip. I love the dip. Like I usually like to say, the dip are to the upper body what the squats are to the lower body. The same way they will build you your quads, the dip will just get you your tricep tight. So for the unlucky one, don't feel so desperate. There are many ways to go about the same, taking on the same quest. But my assumption will be that most people who observe that, they have poor technique. So make sure that you address the technique, and then the intensity, then mobilization. And from the mobilization, if it's not working, then the dip is not you. So yeah, I think that's one thing I should have just addressed, the technique, because I'm assuming form and technique is a given. But yes, technique could be a major problem, a major issue. Yeah, if you don't have the proper form, making sure that you take out you externally rotate your shoulder before you dive down into the dip. That could be the reason why you're slouching forward and then pinching your ribs. So that's that. So let's go over technique being given, form being given. I will not really go too much. I will not hang around the form too much. I would assume that most of you guys who do it, they know how to dip properly. But if that's not the case, revise your form and see if that helps. Intensity, it may be too hard, it may be too heavy. Like I spoke of it before, you may be chasing the next best world record holder of the dip, and just thinking that you that close and forcing yourself through something you have no business doing. And thirdly, after you reduce intensity and it's still messing around and the pain is still lingering, I was just trying to get some mobility drills and target my spine, my thoracic spine, and my shoulder extension mobility. And like I just mentioned earlier in the video, I like the table. The table exercise is pretty simple and can be fun, sometimes boring. And if all that don't work, then I guess the dip is just not for you. Just dump it and use something else. Alright, I hope that was useful. Everything is and will always be the Meckanimal way. Tricep, no tricep extension. That's some masturbation movement right there. You want to be dipping like this. Alright, man, like those blades, a little ashy, but that's just painting coats. It's pretty rare. That type of coat, the painting coat, is really rare and expensive. Yeah. Alright, peace.
The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be live.